warm, and I mean, I had the heat up. It was like 80 degrees in here, and
Mm-hmm.
I was still freezing.
Yeah,
And then
girl.
I'm on my headset, and my head just started freaking pounding.
Oh.
I'm trying to do my set with my
Mm-hmm.
head strap unhooked and using like one one of my controllers for both
Uh-huh.
hands
Yeah.
because I was holding on to my headset with the other because it was killing my head so bad. Oh my gosh.
Mm-mm.
I watched it back today. I was like, epic fail. But then like
Dude.
I was freezing.
Yeah.
But then
Oh,
yeah, COVID got me again.
Yeah. I'm going
Number
to tell you,
4.
I figured out how, like, if you need to get off caffeine but you still need to get woke up in the morning, go play
Just
that
lock yourself
haunted
up in
community
high.
the
fine.
face.
I mean, you can do what
Mhm.
you do.
Yep. Yep. Cool. I'm
But
good.
haunted high, that game in
You know
here,
how
man,
us pro amateurs
that'll
always
get you
check
going.
beforehand.
That'll scare you awake.
As you
I get so
before you go.
scared.
Yeah,
I
I
have
hear
to
you.
like change
It
clothes.
stuck with me.
It gets out
Haunted
of hand.
high.
Haunted high, yes.
What the fuck is that? Is that shit jumping out at me and stuff?
Well, no, it's like you've got a maze, right? You have to memorize the maze,
A maze.
and then inside
no,
the
thank you.
maze, there's like this. You pull off this little thing. You have to burn these pimples. But while you're burning the pimples, yes, while you're burning these pimples on the wall, you got these ghosts that are roaming the hallways, right? And if one gets you, they get you, right? And you lose a life. And you're trying to pay attention to your pimple and watch the halls, make sure they're not coming.
Dude,
It's
just
crazy.
sounds like my life.
Listen, I'm telling you, man. I went out and got me some OxyClean. I mean, I am straight up working these pimples hard, man. Mm-hmm.
Hey, do we got something? We got something new on here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Drop with your host Louis Christie.
Welcome to Europe. Oh, the mic stand does not have gravity these days. Yeah. Welcome, and we are celebrating World Mental Health Day. Yeah.
Hey!
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
right. And in honor of that, we have a load of mentalists coming to perform on stage tonight, myself included. So we have a lineup here. We got starting off with me, and then we're gonna have Wind Magic, and then Rusty, and then we're gonna be closing. We're gonna have Jack. Give us a cheer for that. And we you never know, we might get a surprise guest as well, and if someone turns up and wants to perform. So World Mental Health Day. Do you guys know who I mean when I say the Samaritans phone line? Do you know who that is?
Is that like suicide hotline?
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, mental health hotline. We have that over here in the UK, and so it's World Mental Health Day. But the thing about it, I looked it up on Trustpilot, and it's got 1.8 stars out of 5. If you got in an Uber and it was 1.8 stars, you might not do it. I had a read of some of their reviews. One person said the person on the end of the line sounded really bored. I asked them if they were bored, and they said yes.
No.
Another review said, God, the person on the line was so bad, I ended up taking more sleeping pills. But this is World Mental Health Day. When I used to work in IT, American Express, we used to have you could call up IT support, and if it was nighttime, then you'd be put through to somewhere where it's daytime over there, so like Australia. So I've come up with a solution, right, which is this, right? What we need to do is in the UK, when you call up, because the most popular time to call is like middle of the night, like 4 a.m. When you call up, you should be put through to Australia, because then they'd be like, g'day. It's not so bad. We're here on the beach. Things could be worse. And you'd be like, I might cheer you up. And on the flip side, yeah, you're in the water. And then
the Bobby.
Exactly, they're throwing through shrimps, and you're like, think, life's not so bad, But on the flip side, if you're in if you're in Australia and you call the hotline, get through to someone in the UK. You'd be like, oh, I'm feeling really bad. My life's really terrible. And the person online should be like, you think it's bad? Here in the UK, it's raining. It's miserable. We have a cost of living crisis. So, a bit of new material on mental health. Yeah, who's a chick? With a new audience member, VR Star, you were mentioning earlier you're on some medication. I don't know if you want to mention that or not in front of the other people.
No, dude, I'm actually want to get up and talk about it.
Do you? Yeah, we
man.
can slip you in. You gonna want to do
I
5 minutes?
bet you
on-
could.
Everybody slipped VR Star in.
Well, that's some crazy laugh you have there. Nice.
Oh,
But you
dude, it
bit-
gets worse.
But you're a regular here at the Unknown Theatre, are you?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah,
yes,
I mean, yeah.
yes.
Not unfortunately. Don't listen to this guy. He's dear to our hearts.
I love you, man. I love you. You know I do.
Simon Josh up there, a voice in the sky. It's almost like you know, the voice of God calling down. You know, like,
Yes.
we love you very much. What was that?
You're right, love.
You're right, love. A bit of
You're right,
northern
love.
northern British accent, or as someone mentioned on this stage, Game of Thrones accent. Aye.
Uh-oh. Something's going ding ding.
That's my phone.
You went ding ding.
Popular person, Windy Magic. What's well, now you got to read out to all of us the message.
Yeah.
The message,
Your cream has arrived.
oh no, I'm not reading this message out loud. Sorry.
Horse and cream.
Is it a booty call?
Well, not exactly.
Oh,
Well,
feet,
well, actually,
feet
it's,
fetish.
it's 3 p.m. there, isn't it, for you? So yeah, that'd be an early day booty call, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm old. You know, we senior citizens kind of usually, 3 o'clock is like, I don't know,
Nap time?
10 o'clock for most people.
I love a nap.
Siesta.
Oh yeah, as the Spanish call siesta. Like I think I must be like sort of king of the nap. Like I've literally I've slept for 5 minutes and dreamt, and in that time I've.
Yeah, I get this.
You get this?
Yeah, take a quick nap and you go through like this whole dream that's like 45 minutes long. You're like, how did I have a 45-minute dream and 5 minutes worth of napping time? I don't get it. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that film Inception. Like they were right. Time does walk.
Right. Well played. Great movie.
Yeah. Well, they really. I wish it was the other way around. Like sometimes I'm on a boring journey or whatever, and really I want the sleep to go quicker to get to the destination. Not a joke there. Just an observation. Right. Well, should we get some acts on the stage?
Hey.
Yes. Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
For mental health, that wonderful topic for comedy. Like some people would say, don't kick off a comedy show talking about suicide. I say, why not? Hit it off. What could possibly go wrong?
Get up there and kill it, man.
Okay, well, Winter Magic, as I've warmed up the crowd quite terribly there, please welcome to stage your first act, a good friend of mine. She was brilliant last week. I'm sure she'll be great again today. It's Winter Magic.
It was like magic for me. It just kind of floated all back into place. I really wish I could pull this over, like, and sit on it, but our fucking legs don't let us sit. And I don't understand Meta, but they're supposed to be geniuses. And even I could figure that legs need to fucking bend. Even Mattel figured that shit out back in the 60s. They can't figure it out. It's 2023. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm like, if my throat gets all scratchy or anything, I got bit by COVID. It's like COVID number 4. And it's really weird because I think COVID has become like a universal thing. It's created like a universal like language, because all I got to say is, yeah, well, I'm not feeling well. I got the new variant. Everybody in every country understands what the fuck that means. Fuck COVID. It shouldn't be biting us in the ass still. Damn. I mean, didn't Trump say it was going to be over in 2 weeks? He always spoke the truth. Jesus. I was thinking a lot, like every time I come in here, I think about the difference between Europe and the United States and just the glaring differences. And you go to a hotel here and there's no doorman. There's maybe somebody that's willing to park or steal your vehicle, one or the other. Um, and you go to Europe. Now, the first time I was in London, I didn't understand a lot about different things. I didn't understand that the being, a doorman, I don't know what they call it there, but um, it's an esteemed profession and they train for it. And um, they don't smile, they don't laugh, they don't converse. And I'm kind of a chatty person. So I'm trying to talk every time I would go in. I'd be like, "Hey, how you doing? Are you having a good day? Look at this. It's raining again still since I've been here." But oh, my hair had this permanent frizz going on. It was insane. But this man, like, he never cracked a smile the entire 2 weeks I was there, and I tried getting chatty with him. But I have to say, he made my whole vacation, because as he was getting my bags into the car for me to go to the airport, he holds my door for me first. And I go to get in and I'm like, "Bye, it's been great." And he looked at me and he said, "It's been a pleasure, Mom."
Ah.
And he winked at me and gave me a little smirk. And that was just like great. It showed that, like, he was amazing at his job, but yeah, he has a personality.
Right
So it was awesome, and it's just so civilized to me. But there are things that I think probably happen in like every culture, I think, and people don't talk about it. Sex accidents. Sex accidents, I'm sure, happen in every culture. No matter how civilized you are, you get down and dirty in the bedroom. And some people just don't talk about it. However, I am American, so I will. I was a young bride. I didn't really have a lot of experience. I didn't, there were a lot of things that I didn't know. And one of the things I didn't know is that when you have a nightstand drawer, you don't just throw everything in there. It's not a junk drawer. It is a place where you keep, like, your journal, your Bible, and your condoms and your sex toys. Well, I was raised Catholic, so after I had sex, I had to read my Bible and feel guilty about it if I enjoyed it at all. I so I we didn't want to get pregnant right away. I had been taking the pill. I was off the pill. We needed to use condoms for a while. And to be extra careful, I used spermicide. And one evening, it was, things were getting busy, and I reach over, I grab the condom, I put the spermicide in, I'm rolling it down over him, and I'm trying to, as all the activity was going on, he started to go a little limp, so I'm just kind of, and trying to get it back up there, and it's just getting limper and limper and limper. So I reach down, I'm tickling the balls a little bit. I'm like, what? And it's just getting more limp. And all of a sudden he sits up and he's like on his groin. He's going, "Oh, honey, stop it." So I'm, what? So I start going faster because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I was 17 years old. And so okay, I'll stop. I flip on the light and I look in the drawer and I look over at him and I reach out and I take out the super glue that I had put into the condom. So we're in the hospital and and he's being attended to by the physicians and the nurses and the orderlies and the janitorial staff. Some people, anybody basically that could make their way into that room wanted to be in that room because they all wanted to see what the fuck was going on. And I'm in another room, and there wasn't a lot in the room. There were no windows. It was cushiony. When I pressed against the walls, they had some give to them. I was on a really plain white mattress, and there was a doctor speaking to me really calmly saying, now, are you certain that you weren't angry with your husband? I mean, are you being abused in any way? Is there, and I had to assure this man that I was completely sane. And that, you know, it just, I wasn't upset about it or anything. He said, well, you don't seem very remorseful. And I said, well, it's funny as hell. And I started laughing. That didn't help my cause at that moment whatsoever. Somehow we made it past this incident, this particular incident. And fast forward 7 years, I'm divorced. No mystery, but I have to go to the same hospital, to the same emergency room, because I had yet another mishap with super glue and flung it into my eye somehow. Oh. And I'm having my eye flushed out. I'm laying on this table, having liter upon liter of like saline flushed through my eye. And I'm looking at the nurse, and I say, you know, this has to be like the craziest thing that you've ever heard of with super glue or seen. She says, well, actually,
a few years ago
was yeah. She's like there's this story about a woman who she ended up in a mental institution after she had gone to court. She was arrested. The man lost his penis. I mean, it had turned into the biggest fish story you ever heard in your life. And I had to look at her with a straight face and say, really? Wow, who would do something like that? I get out into my vehicle afterwards, and I look in my rear view mirror, and I'm just kind of looking at my one bulging eye and the other normal looking eye, and all I could think was, I am a fucking legend.
Yes, well played.
Woo!
Well played.
Win the magic. Did we like that?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
He did not like that at all.
No, your ex-husband.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
I had a couple of friends. They were twins, and they used to play pranks on each other. One of them cut a slit down the side of the super glue, so that when he squeezed it, it super glued itself to his hands.
Wow, that's actually smart.
It's kind of devious. Yeah. He's evil genius twin. Well, did we like that? Give us a cheer. Right. Well, let's bring on our next act. He's a regular, a good friend of mine. It's Rusty.
Woo! Hey guys. All right. I'm just gonna spitball some ideas here. So, yeah, I just leave that over here. But one thing yesterday, it was our Thanksgiving in Canada, which I guess normally is a big celebration, but I guess since I'm at Europe, that means we kind of left you guys, didn't we? So it's probably not a good celebration for you guys, but for us, it was a great deal. Of course, I had an issue with my Thanksgiving. You know, normally you think turkey, stuffing, you know, the works, like, you know, ham. Well, I have a stepdaughter who's vegetarian. I have a daughter who's vegan and an animal rights activist, and I have a son that's lactose intolerant. So yeah, so basically Thanksgiving was not a lot of food in my place. As a matter of fact, this was the first year that I was starving after Thanksgiving. So there's one thing. And everyone always used to ask me, Rusty, why do you always take the chair and just throw it out there? And It's because it really intimidates me. Like I look at this thing, and this thing can satisfy 4 women at the same time. You know what I mean? So I can't have that. I cannot have that because I only need to. It just needs to be rusty, right? So that's another thing. Let's see what else could I just spitball some ideas here. So yeah. So this is Europe. So I guess if I said America, fuck yeah, you guys wouldn't understand that joke, right? Yeah, exactly. Because Team America is the big puppet movie. If maybe some of you have seen it, all I could say is there's no I in Team Canada, or no, in Team Canadian or Team Britain, right? So if you use that on an American, they'll be pretty upset with you. Just keep that in mind. So, you're not running the timer, so I'm just gonna keep going. So, because I got 8 points here, so maybe I'll stop halfway. But my wife has been telling me that Rusty, your jokes are just too dirty. You need to clean them up. And I said, what? I mean, what's the big deal? Eddie Murphy? No, he's too dirty. Richard Pryor? No, too dirty. Andrew Dice Clay? Oh my God, he is dirty. Be something. And I said, what? Bill Cosby? He said, yeah. No, go back. Be Eddie Murphy. So now I can officially be dirty because the Bill is not. And look at him. So there's a joke. I want to see if I can fix that to go a little further, but that's what I have so far on that joke.
When I was a little kid, I thought Eddie Murphy was my dad.
Okay. So now this is, I guess, one for the VR star who's been, he's kind of like a legend at the Unknown Theater as being the heckler, because he likes to heckle the comics until he became a comic. But now I think we just figured out there's a new way that's going to really fuck up Comedy Night in the Metaverse or Unknown Theater, because I could just go like this and I can say, boom.
Whoa.
Look at that.
Go.
VR star, send me something back based on that. Like a new way of heckling has now been introduced into the metaverse. That's gonna really text heckling. So the comic will be up here, and it's like sup. It's like whoa. It's like fuck you. It's like whoa. Hey,
Hexling.
Textling.
Hexling.
Textiles. Testicles, I don't know. Later gator. So there's a new way that we're gonna have to deal with your zippers. Oh shit, my zippers. See, that's gonna fuck us up going forward in this metaverse. And then I'll just finish up with just a routine. Something I'm just trying to massage, get it right. So I'm a dancer. I love to go dancing, love to go ballroom dancing, Latin dancing, the salsa, tango, all that stuff. And I go with my wife, and we've been taking lessons ever since COVID let us get out into the real world. And I got to admit, I'm pretty good. All right, I'm a good dancer. So when we go to the socials and we sit there, ladies come up to me and ask me to dance. It's great. It's like I wish I had this in high school, right? So I'm feeling pretty good about myself. It's like really stroking the ego here. But and then we drive home, and my wife's looking at me, and she says, "You didn't dance with me all night." And I'm like, "Babe, it's like this. When you go to a potluck, you don't eat your own food. You want to sample the variety that's there, right?" And she's like, "Huh, yeah, okay." So the next day we do it again, a couple of days later anyway, and same thing. The ladies dance with me. Not too many are dancing with her because I'm a better dancer. But anyway, on the weekend now we go to an orgy. And now it's the other way around. It's like everyone's asking her for the dance, and I am sitting here tangoing with myself. So, lesson learned. Woo, that's the set. It takes two. All right, so give me some heck. Don't give me this. Give me some shit here. Give me some sup. Woo! I'm out of here, Louis.
Yeah. It was Rusty. Right,
Nice.
repeat after me. Sup?
Sup.
Top.
How's it going?
Hey. Good.
Okay.
Louis, I would do a set. I would do a quick little set. Or something.
Yeah, okay. We have a surprise, extra special guest. Please welcome to the stage. You know him. We all know him. He's as calm as a cucumber. His name is Simon Josh.
No way.
What's up, everybody?
Simon!
Hello, hello. And this is open so I can throw this stool because
Young.
I get where Rusty's coming from. I love fucking throwing that thing. It's so fun to throw. I'm tempted to add gravity to this mic stand so we can
Please.
throw more things.
It's kind of like a monkey
Please.
throwing his stool.
Hi, hey everybody. I wanted to tell a couple quick stories. I actually lived in Europe twice, which is partly why I wanted to get this show together. I lived in England twice, and part of why I wanted to move to England was so that I can visit the rest of Europe, because I had never been to the rest of Europe. That shit's far away, but once you get to Europe, everything's really close, and you can have a nice little base of operations and visit places. So I lived in Sheffield, which is kind of East Midlands, northish, whatever, but I did a couple of trips with a few friends, or mates, as they call them over there. So first trip, one of the first trips I went on was to Rome, which we had different trips for different purposes. We went to Scotland to drink scotch. We went to Rome to see art and eat food. And then we're going to see what we're going to do after. But first, let's go to Rome. So we go to Rome, great food, great art, lovely time. But it's kind of nice. We were young men at the time, no longer such a young man, but we wanted to see if we can, have any chance of potentially meeting some attractive Italian woman. Maybe there'd be a good opportunity for something like that. Where young people were staying in a hostel, but wasn't feeling that well. And I was like, you know what, friends, you guys go out on ahead. You guys go try to pick up some women. I'm just going to stay at the hostel and just try to get some sleep. Not the most fun move, but whatever. So still fairly, it was getting to actually end later on in the evening, and I go to my bunk bed in the hostel. So this is like cheap ass hostel. We were young. It was one big room full of a bunch of bunk beds. So I go over to my top bunk where I thought I left my bag, and there's this woman lying there in the bed. Ooh. And I'm like, I can't tell if this is good or bad. I feel like I may not have a place to sleep. And I'm like, hi. She's like, hi. I'm like, this was actually my bed. I'm really sorry, but like, see my bags over there? And she's like, oh, that's your bag. I'm really sorry. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to interrupt. I feel bad. Look, I'm just gonna grab my stuff. If I can just grab my bag, and I'll find another option, but it's okay. And she's like, why don't you just maybe just hop in the bed, and there's probably enough room here for the two of us. I'm like, okay,
nice.
All right. I mean, if you're comfortable. So I get in the bed, and I had this like slight distance between me and her in this like not quite stacked spoon yet. And then in walks one of my three friends who went out that night, and he sees us lying there quietly, and obviously I'm not saying anything. He goes up to us and he goes, oh my God, look at Simon. He pulled someone. He's a fucking legend. Look at him. We went out to pick up, and he's a legend. There's a woman right there. I'm like, so nothing ended up happening that night. So after that, we're like, let's redeem this. Italy trip was nice. Let's plan a trip to Sweden, because that's where some beautiful women are, from what we've heard. So we planned a trip to Sweden and got there and expecting like, oh, well, Italy had good art, so I guess all the women in Sweden will be beautiful. Yep. All of them. All of them. It's the craziest. I don't know if you've ever been, if you have a chance to go to Stockholm, but the four of us got off the plane, took a taxi to the city, and we were just like, and it was like, you'd see a family and you'd be like, that woman is gorgeous. Her child will be gorgeous. And that grandmother they're with was gorgeous and still pretty gorgeous. Oh my God. Everybody here is stunning. This is crazy. So we thought we had a pretty good chance. So we visited the town, visited museums and things, and we decided to go out at night. We're going to pull some ladies. That's what, for the North Americans, the audience, you pull women. You don't pick up. It's a different verb. You don't pick up, you pull. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the
That's
verb,
right.
Is that still the verb? Is that still the verb?
Yeah.
So we're like, let's go and meet some women. So we try to get into a club, and they're like, no, we're full. We're like, what the hell's going on? Okay, we try to go to another bar. They wouldn't let us in. We're like, this sucks. And there were 3 of us. So at one point, we turn away, we look back, and our friend is gone. And he's walking in with a group of people into this club. And we're like, that fucking asshole. He just snuck in with a bunch of other people and left us stranded outside. And we start like just ranting on him. What a dick. He left us here. And then he pops back out, goes to the bouncer, and he says, hey, been here for a while. I'm waiting for my friends to show up. If you ever see a couple of, oh, there they are here. And so they pull the cord thing there. The bouncer moves the thing. We get inside there. We're like, yes. And then we immediately realized why we were not getting in anywhere, because we were definitely the ugliest and the poorest people in the entire place.
Wow.
By far. We're just like, oh, you could just feel that the wealth coming off these people and how much we totally did not belong. But still, we did what we could, split off into our various like separate search parties to try to find what we can find. Sure enough, a buddy of mine, he always did well. Within about half an hour, he's making out with a beautiful blonde in the corner. They weren't all blonde there in Sweden. Some misconception, but happened to be. And then I meet this woman. Starts to go pretty well, but didn't pan out. Then I see on the other end of the room this pretty attractive woman. So I go over, say hello, and then suddenly I see this other guy walking towards us. He's got long flowing blonde hair as well, and he sits down with us, and he's apparently a friend of hers, and he says, here, take this. And he takes this little tea bag looking things and he sticks it up in his gum, between his gum and his upper lip, and crams it in there like his lip is sticking out. And he gives me one. He says, here, you do it too. And I'm like, sure, whatever, that's fine, whatever. I don't know what's going on. And then he looks at me, he's like, how do you feel right now? I was like, what'd you just get? Fine. I start to feel a little bit dizzy. Apparently, instead of smoking cigarettes, they use this thing called snus. And it's like chewing tobacco, but it's in a tea bag, and they jam it in their mouth, and it slowly leaches tobacco into them. So as I'm talking to this girl and this guy with long flowing blonde hair, my third friend was getting nowhere. No girl's interested in him. He's getting really frustrated. And he was with my other friend who said, hey, Simon's talking to a couple of blondes over there. You can go over to him. Simon will hook you up. He's talking to 2. As soon as he comes over, he has a big smile on his face, and he realizes that I'm talking to a woman and a man with long flowing blonde hair. Really like, damn it, but he has to sit down and converse.
Take us to the team, baby.
But we got to the end of the night. I made out with that woman. My buddy made out with the woman, and my third friend didn't do anything with anybody. And he's like, guys, I need you to do something for me. It's 5 a.m. I need us to hop into the water, into this water that has ice floating by. I need us to just like strip down and hop in and just get something special out of tonight, because both of you got something special out tonight, and I feel like fucking loser, so I need something special. So we stripped down, hopped into the water with pieces of ice going by. I don't know if you've ever been to Stockholm, but it's basically a bunch of like waterways and things. And for the next 2 days, as we were in Stockholm, each day, at some point in the day, we saw my buddy's underwear floating by in the water. I swear to God, I have photos of it to prove it. It like followed us as a symbol of trying to make something of the day. Anyway, I got to exaggerate those stories for more comedic effect, because those are 100% true. But thanks for hearing me out. Those are 2 of my European travel stories. And let's get Louis back on stage. Hey.
Simon Josh, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than my stories of traveling. It reminded me of a time I was backpacking in Australia and staying in a hostel. They had this crazy night. They did the Olympics of beer. Everyone's getting pissed in these drinking games. I drank to blackout drunk. Next morning, I wake up and I've wet the bed. I've pissed myself in the bed.
Nice. Fun
The
time.
problem was I was in the top bunk of a double bed. Yeah, there was a woman sleeping in the bunk below me, and I just quietly picked up my bag, checked out, and got on a bus and never looked back. So yeah, that's the closest I got. We're gonna later we're gonna have Jack, but before we do VR Star, do you want to give a couple of minutes?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Let Jack do it, man. He's awesome. bro.
Okay. Well, welcome to the stage. Your closer for the night. It's Jack.
So, Simon's story was pretty interesting. You notice he didn't mention his mates he was traveling with. His travel mates were Gary Glitter, Prince Andrew, and Jeff Epstein. Kind of an interesting trip he was taking across Europe there. My name's Jack. I'm hyper self-critical, so I'll either be killing it up here or myself later.
Hey.
All right. I think the reason comics like to write jokes about suicide is because those that are best at suicide have the least to say. Very unresponsive crowd. Very unresponsive crowd. I'd like to start my set by acknowledging a very important conflict. People on both sides are furious, and this battle is completely dividing households. I'm talking about the war between iPhone people and Android people. What did you guys think I was going to talk about? Something
Israel
more
and Palestine.
No, we're not going to talk about that. My wife, I'm actually in the middle of that war. My wife's family, they all have iPhones, and they started taking me off group text messages because, like, your pictures get blurry and stuff, thereby solidifying that I will never get an iPhone because I don't want to be on those fucking group text messages. Win-win, right? That's the way I look at it.
There it is.
Other things I'm passionate about the flavor grape. I don't know what happened to grape. It used to be everywhere. It used to be in all the vending machines, all sorts of things. Do you think they decided to cancel grape because of that one time it did blackberry face?
Oh.
Maybe the reason they canceled grape is because he kept going on Twitter and saying a banana is a banana no matter how much it identifies as a peach. What I'm trying to say is fruits shouldn't have Twitters, and also make America grape again. That's what I'm trying to say today.
Make America grape again. Well played.
I'd also like to talk about, this is an international show. I'd like to teach you guys about American exceptionalism. You guys familiar with this? It's the idea of like how we brainwash every kid from a young age that America is the greatest country in the world, so that when he's working 3 jobs and can't afford healthcare, he's like, well, there's no better option, obviously. Obviously. Anyone else find it ironic that the people that believe most in American exceptionalism can't spell it? That's kind of a weird thing. Pregnant women and veterans want quality healthcare, and America was collectively like, how's front row parking at the grocery store? That's the same, right? That's the same, right?
No.
We also requested good quality food, and capitalism responded with gummy vitamins and Red Bull. Woo! Get that shit. What else? Oh, we do have one benefit for veterans. If they go to Walmart, they run a special where for $20, they get a gun and 1 bullet. We really care. We really care. Those of you that are upset about that joke, y'all should join my I'm starting a new charity called Adopt a Veteran. If you ever have any like pesky squirrels or neighbors that you want to get, to try Adopt a Vet. They'll take care of them. Booby traps and crying room not included. What else? I think rock stars are being way too safe. There's a destabilization in the equilibrium. Like they're all sober, and air travel's far, far too safe. Not enough dead rock stars. I'm just glad Kurt Cobain killed himself before they came out with that Christmas album. Smells Like Holy Spirit.
Oh.
Let's see if I can grab this mic. Here's my impression of a Texas conservative man. Can you believe all these immigrants coming to our country? They're absolutely ruining it. Hey, Consuela, did you do the grocery shopping and take care of the kids and cook all the food? Okay, you go ahead and clock out. I don't want to have to pay you overtime. And send your buddy Jose over to cut the lawn on Tuesday. You know I only pay cash. All right, that's been my set. Thank you. You have a wonderful afternoon.
Oh my gosh, that's so true.
Woo! Give us a cheer for Jack.
Jack, hey.
Jack.
Bang, bang.
Man.
Had warned me it was going to be a dirty set, but actually it wasn't too bad. It was not too filthy. Well, we're just coming up to the hour. That is, we're drawing to the end of the Europe night. Did we have fun?
Hey.
Yeah.
Right on.
Well,
Did we
back
learn
here.
anything?
Say again?
Did we learn anything?
Did we learn anything? I feel we learned that Americans don't have as good a healthcare in the UK. Like pregnant women get healthcare. Does everyone here in Europe? We learned that Simon, the only way he gets to sleep with a woman is if she's trying to get a free bed in a hostel.
Too right.
We learned don't use super glue as lube. They do quite the opposite things.
This is true.
This is true.
Yeah, but she was just supporting American what's the health hotline, Don't use spermicide, don't kill babies.
Right. Right.
GOP.
We learned that the hotlines need something better, and most importantly, we learned from Rusty that can pleasure 4 women at the same time. So it's been a great night. Come back next week if you have any European friends who have a headset. Get them to come along and get them to perform, and we'll see you again another Tuesday. Thanks and good night.
Okay, you know why Eddie Murphy was my father?
Yes.
Because I didn't like my real father. So, like, all these kids, like, fantasize, like, if they have, like, shitty dads or shitty moms who their real parents are that are going to come and save them. So the first time I heard Eddie Murphy, I just thought he was amazing. And I was like, he was so funny. I was like, he's got to be my real dad. And, like,
the one.
when I told
you're
my
white,
mom,
right?
What's
No,
that?
don't tell her. Don't tell her. She's gone
know
long
you're
enough
white,
without
don't you?
knowing.
Okay, so this was my reasoning, and I didn't understand. Obviously, I knew that Eddie Murphy had black skin, I had white skin. But it had never dawned on me, because I lived on a farm, that it was a genetic thing. Because I had seen farm cats, and you could have, like, a white cat have, like, calico kittens or striped kittens or something. You could have, like, a black and white cow and a black and white cow, and they could have a brown and white cow. So I didn't understand. And, oh my gosh, when I told my mother, she laughed at me so hard. And I was completely baffled. I did not understand what it had to do with having sex. Like, that made no sense to me. So that is why I was convinced that Eddie Murphy was my father. Yeah, I was a weird kid. So anyhow.
He was Eddie Murphy back in the day.
Oh, sorry, that bounced. I did not aim at you, I guarantee. That bounced.
Well, like, some girls thought that, like, oh, my real dad is a princess. Or, like, my real dad is like Daddy, what's his name, Warbucks or whatever. And I was like, my real dad is Eddie Murphy.
Man. No, I sit there.
I mean, I didn't understand.
So, I went to the doctor's office I've been having some panic attacks.
Oh, we're gonna get encore performance.
Yeah. And I went to the doctor and was like, yo, I need something for these panic attacks. And next thing you know, she's like, well, I'm gonna get you some Lexapro. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so, but before I do, let me talk to you about some of the side effects. She's like, you're gonna have headaches, you're gonna have diarrhea, you're gonna have delayed ejaculation. I'm like, excuse me, what? She says, yeah, it's gonna be delayed ejaculation. I'm like, oh, really? I said, yes, so let me go ahead and get some of that. I'm like, okay, I know somebody who would appreciate that on the regular. You know what I'm saying? and so I jumped on that shit quick. But the next thing you know, I'm sitting there at the house, I'm trying to work one out. I'm banging. I'm looking, going through all these different, Pornhub this and that, and looking. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm getting tired.
Why you were video calling me?
I was just beating the shit out of it, man. Like, it was like I was like in, what was this, Rocky 7? I'm like, I'm gonna win this shit, I'll show you, Lexapro. You don't tell me what to do.